get started here in a second. Let me get some stuff together. All right. All right. That'll work. All right. Let's see. Check, check, check. That is working. We got volume over on TikTok. Check, check, check. That's good. What else am I looking for? All right, I'll be right back. Check it a check. Hey, Allie. You're so famous now on social media. I wasn't sure if you still had time for me. Oh, I should have probably told people I was going live. Yali, you want to be my favorite person ever and let the Discord know? I'll appreciate you forever. We got some severe weather to talk about today. Let me know if the volume is weird. Okay, thank you, Ali. And excessive. What's with the excessive rainfall threat right here? Okay, I think that's it. Little glitch. What's going on with our satellite radar? Let's look at our visible. Look at these storms. These storms over the Midwest right now. Visible satellite. I really want to take this streaming opportunity to talk about our winter outlook because I'm moving to Minneapolis, the coldest major city in America, colder than Anchorage, Alaska on average. And I'm from Florida, and I have been obsessing over what the winter is going to be like this year since I'm moving into the frozen wastelands of Minnesota. Winter feels so far away until you realize fall begins in basically 1 month. I know it doesn't feel like that, but fall basically begins in 1 month. We are on the backside of summer. Yeah. Well, my wife is born, bred, raised in Minnesota. She lived there for 23 24 years. Yeah, she'll be okay. I'm ready for fall too. It never feels like fall until like October, but technically September. Except for Minnesota, it starts to get pretty cold in September. We're going to go over... I'm just going to let a few more people get in the live. My little brother's here, so he's going to come in. My house is a disaster. I'm moving across the country in 5 days, so it's just boxes everywhere. Of course, this is the last thing I'm packing, so I can just keep streaming every day. My computer has been having no issues. It seems like the CPU is the issue. It is running fantastic now, which is good. Why do I have a second webcam up here? We're going to go over the weather. Just gonna let a few more people get in here. 1, 2, 3 tropical disturbances that could become tropical cyclones here very shortly. So the Pacific is very active. And although the Atlantic isn't, people have to realize the peak of hurricane season, we're approaching-ish the peak, but we're not really there. That's going to come in late September. So we've got time. We've got a tropical disturbance out here entering the Eastern Pacific. I'm a little bit concerned that could have some development. We've got a little bit of a tropical wave moving off into the northwest. We're going to watch both of these locations. This is around the time, though, where, you know, they're supposed to have an active monsoon season out here. And I think we're going to start seeing, like we're seeing right now, a line of tropical waves beginning to come off the coast of Africa. This is when you get those, this is when you can have kind of a line of tropical cyclones moving across the Atlantic. So, definitely below average season so far. But as we saw last year was extremely below average. And then we got into October and November and had like 4 landfalling hurricanes in 2 months. So things can change very quickly. Hey, what's going on? I'm doing good. Yeah, just my computer's been broken. I had to contact Origin, the company. Geek Squad couldn't fix it. They tried everything. I contacted the manufacturer, got some new parts through my warranty, and basically they had to replace a bunch of stuff. Severe weather today, guys. Here's what's going on across the country. I'm going to just go over what's going on, and then I'm going to answer all your questions, and then we're going to talk about the winter outlook, because I love winter. We've got some bad weather moving through central PA right now, off into the east. Nothing too intense, but some heavy downpours headed out towards the Harrisburg region. Northern Illinois, lots of heavy downpours, nothing too major or severe right now. This is just a lot of convection, daytime warming, thunderstorms. Lots of thunderstorm activity down here, partly because of that tropical depression that we've had spinning down here. You know, bringing in a lot of that Gulf moisture and heating, so... Nothing major, though. I will say we are expecting, and we can take a look at Radar Omega for this. We are expecting things to heat up and get a little spicy, especially up here in the Dakotas once again. As we get into... Let's go. Is this our 16Z? We'll go to the 15Z. As we get into mid to late evening. Here we go. This is around 10 p.m. tonight. Strong band of thunderstorms moving off into the north and east. Capable of producing tornadoes. Here we go. Right through Bismarck, heading up towards Grand Forks. That's around midnight, heading up towards Grand Forks and Fargo. This is what's dangerous at around 3 to 4 a.m. We could have pretty strong straight line winds and the potential for nocturnal tornadoes. So that is our main concern. Of course, we have a marginal out here. Most of this stuff out here is just a wind threat. Some strong straight line winds. Not much of a tornado threat with this, although a tornado is not impossible out here. So we're going to have to pay attention to that. You see, I had to go with my new playlist today. My synthwave playlist. Matches my glasses better. Let's I want to talk about something real quick. I want to talk about the Enso. What's going on with our Enso? What's going on with our fall and winter coming up here? Okay, because I like climatology. Climatology is my thing. I'm gonna have to resubscribe to what's the one with all the crap? What's it called? Let me actually pull this up here. Put on the radar while I'm doing this. There we go. We'll keep this on for now. Can we play? There we go. I'm going to have to resubscribe to... Why can't I think of the name? Hold up here. And where's my bookmark bar? I hate when my bookmark bar disappears. Oh, come on. Well, yeah, we'll talk about Iowa in a little bit. Why does my bookmark bar disappear? I don't get it. Hold up, guys. Hold the phone real quick. Like, sometimes it's there and sometimes it's not, and I don't get it. NTX, Yali. Oh, yeah, all right, I'm cowboy. Jasmine, I appreciate you. Sorry, let me find my bookmark bar real quick because this is going to annoy me. Whatever. We're going to have to do it like this. Why can't I think of the website? Oh my god, I haven't used it in so long. Give me a second. I have to remember this real quick. 1 second, guys. What's my website with all the teleconnections? Someone remind me. Weatherbell. Duh. I'm gonna have to resubscribe to Weatherbell because I like looking at teleconnections for wintertime, but I don't want to pay $80 a month for Weatherbell over summer when it's useless. When our Weatherbell's great for like looking at climatology and jet stream changes, and summer's nothing's much is happening with the jet stream, so took about 5 business days. All right, let's look at this. What's going on here? Well, what's going on is everyone was wrong. Everyone was wrong, and I was right. That's what's going on. No. No. There were a lot of people who actually saw this coming. No, we are not going into an El Nino this winter. No matter how many times people say it, it will not happen. And hopefully it doesn't happen because then people will bring up this clip and I'll look dumb. But I'm 99.9% sure we are not going into an El Nino this winter, even though I've heard it for the last 5 months straight. No. Enso neutral or possibly weak La Nina. We're staying. Okay, here's our forecast. There it is. Look at the odds. We've got a 10% chance of going into an El Nino over this winter. Okay? What does this mean? From a big, far away basis, it just means, from a broad standpoint, it means the odds are that we're going to have below average temps going into the fall and winter across northern tier states, and we're going to have above average temps across southern tier states, likely more precipitation up north and drier conditions to the south. That's looking at it from a broad stance. That, of course, wasn't what happened in last winter's La Nina. We had a foot of snowfall in Florida. So, climatology is weird. Doesn't always work out that way, but we're talking about in like averages of 100 years. This just points towards this. When I'm looking at this, points towards better percentage for heavy snow in the Midwest, better percentage for heavy snow in the Pacific Northwest, better percentage for below average temperatures across all the northern tier states, average temperatures across the plains this winter, and warm above average temperatures in the south, in the Sun Belt, and then up the coast through the mid-Atlantic with drier conditions. Will that actually be what happens? It's anyone's guess. You can see the trends here. I like following trends. Big El Nino, we sit in a La Nina for a while. Big El Nino spike, we sit in a La Nina for a while. Then we get a change here. It wants to go into a La Nina for a while, but we actually go back up into an El Nino. This, to me, I think we're flirting with this, but this, to me, spells this. I think not only are we going to go into staying in neutral, I think we're probably going to go into an actual La Nina, not a weak La Nina. A moderate La Nina moving into, like, next summer. I think we're going to, if I were to draw this based on trends, I think we're going to go like this and then back up into an El Nino here like this. Okay. Yes, I'm going to use Weatherbell for... Weatherbell's the best thing for when... As soon as September hits, Weatherbell, I'm resubscribing to it. I just, the $80 a month thing is dumb when I don't use it at all over summer. I'm just throwing away hundreds of dollars. But yes, I love Weatherbell. I know how to use it well. Especially I love the teleconnections that you can see on there. So anyways, that's what's going on. Okay. Here's what's going on around the country. Let me get back to weather-wise. I should get my little brother in here and ask him weather questions and see how much he knows, right? Who has any questions? NTX, what are you talking about, fall? What's going on, Justin? What's going on, Evan? Welcome to the channel. Dayton, Ohio, we talking about today? You guys are in that, actually, Dayton, yeah, you're right on the border of that marginal today. This is just a wind threat. Nothing really much. You don't even have a hail threat. No hail, no tornado threat. Wait, did they just... That's new. All right. Well, we're going to have to talk about this too. We'll take a look at the models and see what the odds are for some tornadic activity through central Illinois to northern Indiana is. Dayton, Ohio today, you're going to have some thunderstorms probably. Nothing too severe. If we were to look at our model, if we were to look at our HRRR, it's looking like we're probably going to have storms rolling into Dayton. Potentially around 4 p.m. Eastern. Again, this is scattered. You could have it all day. The strong stuff looks to remain to the north, though. It's just scattered thunderstorms today. I don't expect too bad in Dayton. Okay, so new tornado risk zone area in here today. Let's take a look at what we're seeing here on Pivotal Weather. Let's look at our models. Let's look at our latest HRRR, some of the severe. Okay, first let's look at the reflectivity. See what the odds of this are happening if we're going to get an uptrend today. Oh, look at that. Okay. Interesting. Right there, that's what they're looking at. Let's go to the Rufus. Interesting. The Rufus is thinking this is soon. It's hard to tell if they want the one behind this or they want this initial push of storms. So let me look at the NAM. Oh, NAM 3K. Interesting. Interesting. I think they're thinking this could spin up right here as we get into the evening hours, 6 to 7 p.m. Let's take a look at our... Let's take a look at... Let's go back to the HRRR. I'll go to the Rufus, and let's take a look at... Surface Cape. Oh, right there. Right there. Yep, as we get into the evening hours. It's going to be a little bit of an issue right here. Let's take a look at our relative helicity down at the surface at around the same time. There's a little bit. Not a ton of helicity, which is good. Helicity is just at violent potential for violent rotation. There's enough though, just to the south of the Chicago metro, right here. There's a little bit of potential for a spin up in there for sure with what we're seeing. We can just cheat and look at the SIG-TOR. Let's see what our parameters want to be. Not looking too crazy. This isn't looking too threatening, but you never know. We have that SIG-TOR earlier in the day as well. Let's see this. Good rotation at the surface. Good cape. SRH and surface level shear are fine. Possible hazard type tornado. Almost a 2.0 effective layer STP. This is just to the south of Chicago at around 8 p.m. today. So we'll have to watch out for that. But I will say Dakotas are looking a little sketchier. Not that they're looking that sketchy, but just I think if we're going to see something, our odds are better up here. Really interesting with the SIG-TOR here. Although I don't think the timing of this is going to be right. And you can see what's happening at the surface. This is going to prevent. There's too much inhibition here. It's going to prevent these thunderstorms from igniting. But the SRH is out of control here. And the shear is out of control as well. Luckily, I don't think we're going to get anything down there. I think our threat's going to be farther up to the north for tornadoes. So we could see something up here. Which just is crazy. 5,000 surface cape. Interesting the way the dew points are riding up that temperature as well. BC, what's going on? Yeah, BC. Yeah, they just yeah, you're in at 2% now. So yeah, I know. I remember you said you do live up in like, I'm not gonna dox you, but up in that area, northwestern Illinois, right? Or Indiana. So yeah. And what I was just looking at, if I were to say where we most likely get a spin up, to me, here. But that's just, you know, that's just me averaging out the models. Well, there could be a model that shows it a different area. That's completely right. But that's just my best guess based on the latest information. It's going to continue to change, and my mind might change. But right now, that area I'm a little concerned about. Again, though, with the Cape values, even if we do get a tornado on the ground, the odds of seeing a strong tornado, EF2 plus, aren't very high. So, you know, damage to roofs, power lines down, stuff like that is more likely if we get a tornado out of this. I don't expect anyone. I don't think there's going to be too much of a threat to life today, which is good. But got to keep alert, so I got to pay attention. Of course, BC. Any weather coming to Detroit? There's going to be some weather rolling through there later. Here we go. Some thunderstorms potentially rolling through at around 3, 4 Eastern, and then here we go overnight. 10 p.m., 10, 11, you could have some very strong thunder showers moving through. Potentially severe thunderstorms, but it's going to mainly be just wind associated. You know what I mean? All right, let's get my brother in here and see if he knows anything about weather, guys. Has my brother ever been on my stream? I don't think he has been. Let's go get him. Little brother! Come here. Stream wants to meet you. All right. Yeah. Matt would be my brother from another mother.
What am I looking?
Well, actually, technically, you're my brother from another mother, too.
I am.
Oh, my God. We have the same dads, but a different mom. So this is, you know what as they say, my bro from another nice lady. Sweet lady. Woo!
I'm the more athletic.
I almost slipped. He is very athletic. Very good hockey player. National champ, right? National champ.
Yeah, not a big deal.
So he's moving to Minnesota with me. He's literally quitting his job and moving to Minnesota next month because I said, Riley, you're just working as a bartender, right? You've got nothing holding you to Charlotte. I said, my son is going to be turning 3 this year. He's going to put skates on. I need a coach. I need someone to train him. So he's literally quitting his job and moving to Minnesota to teach my son hockey.
Yep.
And because out of all my 6 siblings, he's my favorite. It's okay if they're watching. They all know that. I tell them all the time. Just like my mom told in front of all my siblings when my mom was sick and in the hospital, she said, in case I die, I want you guys to know Connor is my favorite. I swear she said that. And everyone laughed. And when everyone left the room, she said, Connor, you know I was being serious. And I said, I know. Now listen, it makes sense. To be fair, I call my mom well, my mom passed away, but I would call her 3 times a day, every single day, and none of my siblings ever called her. So I was just a mama's boy. So, you know, to be fair, I kind of forced her to like me the most. So that's what's going on. He's my favorite. I'm my mom's favorite. It is what it is. Riley, let's talk about the weather today. Let's talk about the weather. Do you know what this green risk zone is called?
Looks like there's gonna be a lot of rain there.
It's called marginal. 1 out of 5 risk for severe weather. This yellow is our slight. Then we and then we go into and then we go all the way up to 5 out of 5. 5 out of 5 is going to be our high. Enhanced and moderate's the 3 and 4. When am I moving? In like 5 days.
Hey Connor, look, I live there.
Okay, can I put us in a big box? Yeah.
I've lived there.
True. CRISPR
Casper.
Wiloma.
Casper.
Do we look alike? Do we look alike, chat? I really want to tell you guys where I'm moving in Minnesota, but my wife's going to be like, you're doxing us. Even if I tell you the city, you don't know where I'm moving. It's not that big of a city, though, so I might be doxing us. Let's just say to the southwest of Minneapolis. Not too far. Let's just say that. To a city that is hard to pronounce and that I never pronounce correctly.
Contacts in.
Is that Mesomat? Hey, Mesomat. Oh, here's a kiss for you. Wait. Yes. The city I'm moving to averages... Oh, no. My glasses broke. The city I'm moving to averages 52 inches of snow a year. And I couldn't be more excited. Where'd it go? Oh, my God. My brother broke my glasses. I couldn't be more excited. Matt, where do you think we're getting a tornado today? Dakotas? Or do you think we're getting it down here? Illinois, Indiana. I saw some decent, as we get into the evening, some decent looking parameters through specifically this region here. Nothing crazy though. Like Cape values aren't wild. Sigtor isn't wild. Helicity's average. Pretty average. Pretty average. I think the Dakotas could see something spicy. Yeah, agreed. North Dakota. Agreed. I mean, I think North Dakota, they could go 5%, but yes, we are not going to allow. I will not allow a tornado near you, BC. I won't allow it. I will not allow it. Is a time change going to mess up my streaming schedule? It's only an hour different, so I don't think it's going to even be noticeable. You know, most severe weather happens in Central Time. That'll be good for me. Yeah, I will say where I'm living, my view is like cornfields. I have an amazing view of storms rolling in. So I'm excited to share some of those in the Discord when I see some cool storms rolling in. We're like on the edge of the of like Minneapolis Metro, so we're like still in the city area kinda, but you go down a block and it's farmlands for like 1,000 miles. So we're like looking out over the farmlands, like over the plains, and it's really cool. You broke your tooth this morning? Oh Lord. Map, you see, I appreciate it. Laddie, what's going on? Dublista, easy. You guys are awesome. Marty. Marty. Hey, listen. Wait, listen. Give me a second. Marty, if you're listening, that's all I'm gonna say. Anyways, how's Chicago? Listen, Chicago looks to be just far enough north, you know, but we'll see. Again, I still think the northern portion of this is where we could see a decent, not a strong tornado, but maybe a spin up. Chicago looks to still be safe, but I would just stay alert today. You never know. These storms could shift a little bit north. Thanks, BC. Any storms in the Gulf? Nah, that disturbance fell apart in the Gulf. Yes. So we do have a threat for excessive rainfall today across portions of southeastern Iowa, northeastern Missouri, central to northern Illinois, central to northern Indiana, then out there in PA and portions of central upstate New York. That's where we've got our slight risk for excessive rainfall today. You know, taking a look at the multi-day rainfall totals, this isn't a ton of rainfall. I mean, maybe northern Indiana, some flash flooding potential. But again, I mean, we're not seeing crazy projections right now. Maybe locally 4 to 5 inches, which wouldn't be good, but that's on the high end. Very high end. Yeah, western PA should get a lot of rainfall over the next 2 days. And then it'll clear up a little bit. We've got some storms out there, I believe, right now. Yeah, they're moving through central now, out east. None of our severe thunderstorm warnings right now are too threatening. Average 6-mile-per-hour winds, small hail potential. So, nothing really going on right now. Yeah. So, I'm in the middle of 2 jobs right now. I'm staying with the same company, but they're moving me to their Minneapolis office because we wanted to move to Minnesota. It's where my wife's family lives. So I'm doing Philly work, and I'm going to be doing Minneapolis work, and then I'm packing my entire home, traveling across the country, moving into a new home. So, but I should be all set, office put together in the new home by the latest August 8th, August 9th. So my plan is by either the beginning or middle of the second week of August, I will be back to daily streaming, daily uploads. Now, I'll be able to stream on the weekends in the afternoon and evening, on the weekdays, evening streams, because, you know, I'm still, till I can do this full time, you know, I still gotta have a job. Appreciate that, BC. Oh, what's going on, Matt? What's poppin'? How are we getting by hurricanes in Florida this year? You know, it's been a slow start to the season, but I don't think, you know, I expect it to pick up. We've got a little disturbance out here that's wanting to creep into the western or eastern Caribbean that no one's talking about. And I'm not sure why. There's not very much shear out ahead of this. The waters are warm enough. They're not super warm. But if we take a look at what's going on up here, let me actually put this into motion so we could see what's going on with our Bermuda High. Let's put this into motion here. You've got a little bit of a trough digging down here. If this storm were to get itself together, you know, the later we get into hurricane season, you do start to see these storms take more of a path like this. The beginning of hurricane season, you'll see some local storms out here that move over Mexico, creep up into Texas. Later we get into hurricane season, you start to get those tropical waves moving off the coast of Africa, and depending on where your Bermuda High is, if it's far enough to the west, these will typically try to make landfall in the U.S. If it's farther off into the east in the Pacific, these storms will typically just move off into the North Atlantic. The Bermuda High is pretty far off to the west, meaning if we were to see something with this, if we were to see this get any sort of development going, this would be a threat, I think, to the southeastern U.S. So that's something we got to watch. We do have, let me actually move this to main development region. We've got some decent tropical waves moving off the coast of Africa now. This is something we're going to be talking about very soon too. You'll hear the Weather Channel talking about this. They'll bring this up in probably 48 hours. This is a lot of convection. They were talking about an above average monsoon season in Africa, and it hasn't been happening. Well, it's starting. And once this gets going, that's when you start to see a train of tropical disturbances moving across the Atlantic. So that being said, it's been a slow start to hurricane season, but with what's developing here and what's developing out here, I think that's we're about to see an uptick within about 2 weeks. The biggest thing is the Bermuda High placement. The Bermuda High is sitting the Bermuda High is sitting right here. Storms, meaning storms want to, if we get any development, it's going to want to steer into the U.S. They originally thought this year that the Bermuda High may set up further, which is good because that steers storms away. But the Bermuda High placement, if we start to get that activity, which it looks like we might, it is going to steer stuff towards the U.S. So we're going to see an uptick, I think, in a little bit here. We need to watch this too as this floats into the Western Gulf, by the way. We need to watch that too. Let's see. I'll go back to HRRR. Salisbury, Maryland. Hey, look at that. We got a, yeah, we did get an upgrade to a slight out here as well. We did get an upgrade to a slight. It's just going to be wind. Again, wind driven. No tour risk out here. Let's take a look at, how do you spell that again? 06. Am I spelling that wrong? Yeah, you guys are fine. I mean, you guys are in a 5% wind risk today. Storms look like they could start moving into Salisbury. Let's take a look. Let's take a look. Late. Around midnight. Maybe some scattered thunder showers today. Thunderstorms today. In and around late afternoon, early evening. But not too much to worry about there. You got a flood advisory in Indiana. What's going on out there? Let's see. You guys are going to have a lot of rainfall. I mean, look at this. This is over your next like 12 hours. Lots of rainfall, especially the heaviest rainfall likely as we get into around 5, 6, 7 p.m. today. Salisbury. Oh, I knew that. I knew that. I was just messing with you. Totally knew that. I like live pretty close there. I should probably know that. Yeah, let me go back to the radar up here. Yeah, you've got some heavy rainfall moving through that region. You're going to continue, I think, to have flood watches all day up here. You're going to have a break from your storms for a little bit here, but then they're going to kick back on in a few hours after that. You know, BC, it's going to be some heavy rainfall. It's not going to be like the rainfall, like the flooding we saw in Texas or some of the flooding in Kansas. Like, we're talking maybe 4 or 5 inches max. So, I don't know. It's on the border of, if I was in a situation in a low-lying area, I'd probably stay. But yeah, it really depends. There's going to be some local flood. There's going to be, let me actually show you guys this. There's going to be some local flash flooding in this area. It's not going to be widespread, in my opinion. But, yeah, we could see a little bit of a sketchy situation. BC, I appreciate you, and Matt. Appreciate the follows, guys. Thank you. I don't want to float away. Will have to happen for you to do full-time TikTok weather. I just have to make enough, you know. Because I would, if I went full-time, I'd have to quit my job. So, but it's really hard to grow a channel and get to the point where I'm making enough when I can only do it part-time. So it's just it's a battle. It's a battle. Because if I put full effort into this channel, like I was when I was on paternity leave, I can grow it. I can get so much more engaged. I can do interviews with people in the weather community, all the stuff that I want to do. But my goal is, again, once that second week of August comes and I'm set up, just to be really consistent again, get back into the swing of things, and hopefully get to the point where, you know, in a year or whatever, I can fully commit to this. No. I'm an underwriter. I'm an underwriter in commercial insurance. I'm an underwriter, yeah. So not with weather. I will say, though, I was in a meeting the other day, and we were talking about like climate underwriting for certain, you know, severe convective storm underwriting and all that type of stuff. And I chimed in, and I was like, hey, I have I have some advice. And I gave a little speech, and one of the people who I work with, one of the higher up people, was like, hey, can you get in these calls when we talk about like underwriting severe convective storm potential and everything? And I was like, sure. So now I'm kind of talking about weather in my line of insurance. Have all the storms rolled through and done for the day in northwestern Indiana? No. You're probably gonna see worse weather right out here around 5, 6, 7 p.m. 8 p.m. 5, 6, 7, 8. It's gonna roll through northern. That's when you could get a spin up. That's when you could see a spin up, potentially spin up tour or two out here. So you're gonna get a little break here for like an hour or 2 or 3, and then you're gonna have some storms rolling back in. Sturgis. Yeah, Sturgis could see some strong thunderstorms. Starting at around 3, 4 Eastern. The worst of it looks to be rolling in. The worst of it looks to be rolling in 6, 7, 8 o'clock. Straight line winds could be an issue. Not impossible for a tornado or two out there, but chances are low. Detroit's looking fine until pretty late. In around 9, 10 p.m., you're going to have some strong thunderstorms moving through. Not expect it to be too severe, but when you get to Minnesota, or when you get to Minnesota and it starts snowing, can you make vids about it? Oh, 100%. 100%. I love winter. I love cold. I love snow because I lived in the swamp, Florida, for 22, 23 years. Then I lived in LA, never experienced any seasons. Then I lived in Charlotte, experienced some seasons. So for me, I'm like a little kid. So I love winter forecasting. I always studied winter weather and I was never living in it. I will be, if we have big blizzards coming through or whatever, I actually want to live stream them. And what's really cool is since I'm right on the outskirts of like Minneapolis Metro and I'm like, it's just all farmlands around me, I can get really, really good snow readings and really, really good video. So I'll do live streams for winter storms and stuff like that. It'll be awesome. Yeah. You know, since I've been talking about my move, I've gotten a lot more Minnesota people on my channel and like talking to me. Minnesotans love talking about the weather. Like every time I'm up there, everyone's talking about like, I've never been to a state where they talk about the weather more in Minnesota or than Minnesota. So I think that'll be fun. North Texas freezing in December, January, February. Okay, right now, and this is an outlook, and their outlook was pretty wrong last year. Right now, let me see if NOAA's posted anything official yet. Right now, it's trending towards a drier and warmer southern tier. This area looks drier and warmer for the winter. Doesn't mean that's going to happen. And when I say drier and warmer on average, you still could have freezing days. And you still could have southern snow. The one good call I did make last year is I said I think we're going to have 1 or 2 big southern winter storms, which we did. But the rest of the season, there wasn't much. But again, I would say we're talking 60 to 70% chance it's drier and warmer than normal down here. That still leaves you a 30 to 40% chance that it's colder and wetter. This is based off a 100-year average, based off of the Enso neutral to weak La Nina that it looks like we're going to be in. It also depends when the MJO is moving through this region. If we have the MJO in phase 7 or 8, the MJO is just imagine a big pocket of moisture. It's a seasonal thing. It's a big, we still don't fully understand it, the Madden-Julian oscillation. It's a big cluster of storms that forms out here, like every 3 months on average, slowly moves like this. It affects the rainy season out here, monsoon season. And then as we get into phase 7 and 8, it moves out here. Now, when the MJO is moving across the states, if we happen to be in our coldest month of the year, and this is what happened last year, the MJO was moving across in January, and that's why we had a huge winter storm down south. If we get the MJO moving over in January or even February, anything's possible with snow in the south. Because you're just going to have, it brings so much more moisture to this region. All you need in a week or 2 span is some below average temperatures to move in and you can get a southern snow. So the MJO timing and can definitely change what happens with our jet stream. It can manipulate our jet stream, which can change what we think is going to happen based on our Enso forecast if we're in a Enso neutral or weak La Nina. So all that stuff, I'm going to be making a video on all that stuff. I really do want to NOAA winter. Did NOAA come out with a preliminary? I can't say that. Well, I'm not even going to try anymore. Preliminary winter forecast. Let's see. T-Swizzle. I appreciate you and Mats. And I appreciate the new followers. Seasonal outlook. Here you go. Not shocked because we're expected to be Enso neutral to weak La Nina. Below average precipitate. Now this does not, even when you see below average here, guys, this is just for the whole winter. There can be periods of winter where you get a lot of precipitation down here. It's just an average for the whole winter. This is what they're expecting. This is super early. This is going to change. This map you're looking at here is going to change. This is the way too early forecast for winter. precipitation chances. Not shocked to see Pacific Northwest, Midwest get involved in above average precipitation, below average down there. Not shocked. That's exactly what I would expect to see this early on. Again, not shocked to see this. Thinking most northern tier states could remain average or slightly below average and much warmer down here. This is going to change. This is a very far outlook. So, and they were very wrong, by the way, last year. Last year, remember, NOAA said we were going to have very warm temperatures out here. The Mid-Atlantic had one of its coldest winters in 50 years. And they had this very above right here before we went into winter, NOAA. Very wrong. Outlooks are hard to get right. NOAA is right more than they're wrong, but sometimes they get it wrong. And again, there's so many things that can change the forecast, like a weirdly timed MJO. Yeah, Michigan, if we were to go by what I'm seeing right now, I would expect much of Michigan to see below average temperatures and above average snow. In my way too early outlook, but I'm going to make a whole video on that. I might throw that in my video that I do. Sesk, because I don't have that pulled up right now, but I can add that in the video that I do. Let's see here. Okay. Let me pull back. Let me go back into weather-wise. How long have I been on here? 46 minutes. I think I'm gonna get off for a little bit because I'm gonna live stream our severe weather tonight. So I think what I'm gonna do is get off now, and then I'm gonna get on at around maybe 5 p.m. when we could see its tornado chances through this region. And then I'll try to be on as well for our North Dakota and South Dakota tour thread as well. Because I do have that availability today, so I would like to live stream those. What do you think we will... do you think we'll get upgraded to a 5% tornado risk? Tomorrow 12Z HRRR run showed maybe. Let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at that. HRRR 12Z. Ooh. Ooh, yeah, Minnesota. Ooh, Minnesota. Oh. Yeah, no, I do think we're going to get upgrades tomorrow based on the 12Z HRRR. Wow. Look at this. I got to look at these parameters, but very interesting. Aggressive wind threat. Okay, I have to. Let's look at the Cape projections. Ooh, okay. Okay. Okay, 7,000 surface cape. What do you guys think? 7,000 surface cape in Minnesota over summer. This to me looks like a clear upgrade. What do they have for tomorrow? We could go enhanced. We could go enhanced. Yes, 100%. I think we will. Yeah. Listen, DNS. When I get back on at 5 p.m., I'll have that pulled up for you, all right? I promise. If you get back on when I'm on that stream. I'm going to get off now so I can get back on and live stream these tornado threats as we get into the late afternoon, early evening. So I appreciate you guys. I'll be back on here around 5 p.m. Eastern, maybe earlier. I'm going to be watching to see if we have any tornadoes touchdown. So I'll see you then. I appreciate the follows. And yeah, I'll see you in a little bit.